Hello everybody, welcome to this new lecture on making our first Alexa skill. In the last lecture we were talking about more we were going more in specific on what Alexa skills are and what JavaScript is. If you want to go check that out, then just go watch the last video. So in this lecture, we're going to be making our first skill, as I said. And we're just going to make it like a simple kind of hello world thing. So first, what you want to do is you actually want to sign in. And as you see here, it's going to ask you to sign in. You probably don't have a sign in. So you're actually going to go to your create Amazon developer account, and once you've created that, you can sign in. It's pretty simple. Then you want to go to developer console, Alexa skill set, and then you probably have no skills. So what you want to do is you want to create a skill, and let's just name it Hello World 2. You can name it Hello World. And we choose custom and Alexa hosted Node.js, create skill. And the template that we're going to use is start from scratch, just for demonstrating Hello World as it says here. And then we're going to continue with template. And it's going to say it's going to take a minute, so you can just wait for it. So once your skill has loaded, it should say that it successfully built your whole skill. And then, so what are we gonna do here? Because once you come here, you should be directed to the build tab. Well, we have invocation, interaction model, and assets. So what should we do about all of this? Well, first we should actually just go to the invocation. And in the invocation, we're supposed to put a name. Now, the name is kind of like what I said in the last lecture, specifying like what kind of skill you want to say hello to, or whatever skill you want to have whatever skill you want action from. So, let's say you wanted to specify it from like a specific place. Then this invocation name, you would say ask, let's say, daily horoscopes, the horoscope for Gemini. And that's specifying the actual thing, the actual skill. So let's just say specific, specific hello. Because remember, we want to make our specific. Because let's say you have another, whoops, what happened? Build failed. Name must start with, okay. Invocation names cannot contain, okay. I made a mistake. It can't have a uppercase, so this should work. And just remember, we can't have any uppercases. So basically, when you publish your skill, you actually can get it off the Alexa App Store, but we still want to make our specific. Let's say if you have more than, like if you have a lot of skills you've activated, like you still want to make it specific so you can ask a specific thing. Because if you ask just randomly, hey, hello world, is going to be like, okay, which skill do I get that from? So it says full build successful. That's great. Let's go to the intents. And the intents are basically like the things that hold the sample utterances, where you can ask like the actual skill name, the invocation name, what you want it to do. And we'll make a handler which actually handles what we're going to do when that intent's going to be called. So instead of this hello world intent, we're going to make a new one, and we're just going to name it a specific world. My spelling isn't good. Okay. And we always want to put intent at the end. And let's just create our specific world intent. And let's say as our sample utterances, things you can ask it, specific hello. Let's just say actually hello viewers, hello world, hello one. Yeah. You usually want to put like 6 sample utterances to make sure that that you are specifying every single thing you can ask. But for now, we're just going to have these 3 just for testing. So we're going to save the model, and then we're going to build it. Remember, you can add as many sample utterances as you want, as long as you don't contain like numbers, you don't contain like semicolon. You can't really contain some stuff. If it has like if you have something right here, like some red text, then that means you're not doing it correctly. So now it's training the model, and soon we will be able to evaluate the model, which is a pretty helpful thing, since it actually, let's wait for it to actually stop training the model. Also, utterance conflicts detected. We detected 2 utterance conflicts for your review. What are utterance conflicts? Well, let's say you don't want them. Since in the hello world I changed it around and made it say the same exact thing, like hello world and hello viewers in both hello world intent and specific world intent, the utterance conflicts caught it, and the utterance conflicts is like, you can't have 2 of the same things in the intents. So in the hello world intent, we're just gonna say hello P and hello. Alright. Just to change it around so that we don't have utterance conflicts. Because having them is going to have a really big problem and might result in an error. And as I was saying, we also want to evaluate the model, which is basically it's basically like seeing if you say hello hi here, then it'll actually say it's from this hello world intent. And if you say hello viewers, then it'll go back and see, oh, it's from the what was it called? The specific world intent. So let's go here and let's just say hello. And it's from the hello world intent. Now when we say hello viewers, specific world intent. So that's great. Now we don't have any utterance conflicts as it says here. And that's basically what we need. So we're going to go to code. And as you see here, we have a lot of stuff. Now I'm going to explain some stuff here. About the classes, the local debugger, package.json, and utilities.js. So, the first thing we're going to go over is this. Alexa, const Alexa equal require ask SDK core. Now this is mandatory, and if you don't have it, then boy, you're going to have a lot of problems. Because this is something, like whatever it already has printed out already for you, you should never delete unless it's like you can change it, because like const speech output, this is the string. If you change the string of the text that you want to say, then it won't matter. So we're gonna keep that and just make sure not to change it. It's just requiring something. And in the package.json, whenever you want to require something like that, you actually want to put in the dependencies, the ask SDK core, ask SDK model, and AWS SDK, like the versions of it, which you will not need to do it for a while, and it's kind of complicated, so you really don't need to know that now. So here we have our launch request handler. Now, it would actually be easier to describe this HelloWorld intent, because this is what we're going to be making. Please note that this and this are really similar, just sometimes there's a few changes since it's the launch request and our own intent. This is not intent. So we're just gonna go over this. So we're making our HelloWorld intent handler. This is the thing that handles it. We always want to make sure we have a handler and to know that, oh, this is a handler. So here it's gonna say can handle handler input, and it's gonna here say return Alexa.getRequestType, and then handler.requestEnvelope equal triple equal intent request, which is basically saying that this is an intent, and yeah, it's basically intent. Here it says launch request because this is not an intent. This launch request handler never came from an intent. And as you see here, it's an intent, and anything that's an intent, and as you see in the build, anything intent-wise will be called intent request. Here we have and Alexa.getIntentName, and here is going to actually be our actual intent name, because when you say like the sample utterance from that intent, it's gonna have no idea where to go. If you don't have any place that it tells it to go, it's probably not even gonna return anything. It's not gonna know what to return. And trust me, I have had experience with that. So then here, we wanna say our speech output. In this handle input, we usually have our speak output, sorry, and we just made it equal to hello. Usually it's hello world, but I changed it to hello because why not? And in whatever you put in the speak output, it will say anything you put in the speak output, uh, unless it's like a character that's like an escape character. But anyway, then it will do dot speak output. The dot speak is making Alexa speak this, because if you just specify this const speak output as hello, it'll have no idea what to return it, and it will not return anything it will just have speak output and be fine with it. So we want to make sure dot speak, whatever we want it to speak, it will be in here. We can actually just say our letter in here, but to be more organized, we have a const that has that. And the reprompt, if you want to reprompt the person, then reprompt would do, and then get response. So we just went over all of this, and we're going to actually make our own since our intent doesn't have an owner, let's say, yet, like a handler yet. And one more thing I want to go over is whenever you're making a handler, I've ran into this problem so many times and I've got stuck on what to do so many times. But basically what you want to do is whenever you have a handler, you want to put it here. So in the exports.handler equal lxs.skillsbuilders.custom.add request handlers, and you want to put all your handlers that you have in here. And just make sure to always do that. Whenever you have an error, it probably might be that because, you know, it's not really going to be such a complicated error because we're just starting, but once it's more complicated, you actually want to go to the Cloudwatch Logs, and you want to go to your default US East and Virginia, or whatever you have, and you just want to click that. In the Cloudwatch Logs, you have your basic logs, and we'll talk about more of that soon. So let's make our new intent handler. So let's just copy and paste this, because copy and pasting this will actually be very helpful for us. Let's consider this as our as something that we can use, because this is from this is not typed by me. This is what you have once you choose the custom like HelloWorld intent. And let's just use this as an outline. So let's just put it right here. And as you see, we have an error since this has already been declared. So let's change this to our intent. And let's just say specific. You want to get the exact one. Specific. Let's just save this. Remember to save it. Specific. Let's go back. Interaction model. Specific world intent. Let's just copy this and go back to the specific hello handler specific world intent handler. And now that we have this name, we can change this. Don't change this. This is still an intent, but here's changed because we want to get a different kind of intent, which is the specific world intent that we just made. And let's make our speak output. I don't know why I keep saying speak. And let's just have it as you have activated the specific world intent. Good job. And you might think there's more, but when we copy and paste this, when we have used this to copy and paste, all of this here is done because we have every single thing set up already for us. Now, let's see if you remember. Is there anything else we have to do? Yes, we do. we need to put our handler down here. So let's copy and paste our handler. And let's put it right here. And that should be all. Now, you're probably wondering what the local debugger and the utils.js is. This is basically just stuff needed, and the local debugger, you can guess it, it's something that debugs the program when you have an error. Don't change any of this because, it won't work if you do. And the utils.js is basically just some other stuff that you need. I can't really explain it, but basically it's just something that's needed. So then we're going to deploy the program. Let's deploy. And if I'm correct, then that should be all. So we can test it out. If it doesn't work, then it'll probably say, where's the error handler? It will say, sorry, I have trouble with you asked. Please try again, because that's what's gonna be happening when the error with the error handler. Or I'll just say, sorry, an error occurred or whatever. So we're gonna go to the build, specific world intent, and we're just gonna copy one of these sample utterances and specific hello world. So let's just copy and paste, copy this actually. And let's just remember hello everyone. Okay. So we go to test. So it'll probably be off for you, but you want to make it so it's development. So when you're using development, you can actually ask it. In the device log, we might, if we have an error, see our log because all of the events are here. So we don't actually have to say Alex. We don't actually have to say like Alexa's name here. So we just can say ask specific hello world, hello viewers, or yeah. So let's see. Well, it said it. I don't know why it was so enthusiastic at the end. But all of that worrying of the error, of having an error, is gone because this works. And here you can actually see the JSON input and the JSON output. Seeing these two are actually very useful since you can see what is happening inside the actual thing. And looking at this will help you understand what's actually happening inside the hello world, inside the specific world intent. Because we aren't making everything. There's stuff inside that we haven't made. And that's the developer console that's doing. So this is part of what the JSON for the developer console is doing. And we can go down here. Let's go down here. And this is hello world, our name. And you can just say quit, exit. And here's all our events and the skill debugger, and this is just basically the device log that's happening. And let's just say quit the skill, exit, and